Welcome to the chart review for 5/30/2019, Thursday, showing you a picture of a trade that I called this morning. This is a breakout and a move. I was looking for the 2800. It actually kind of stalled out 2798-ish and basically got out of the trade, but wanted to show this to you. And this is in the micro ES, so you got 4 points up there. And let me show you the call from this morning and how I described it. And here we go. Now, and look how thin this volume is right here. I think we're going to make a very fast move up into 2800 this morning. Okay, I'll show you the rest of this chart here in just a second, and we'll see how it all played out today. Hold on. Okay, let's go over that trade in a little bit more detail and see what happened. I was expecting a much stronger market. I had originally put the scalping level up here against the higher profile, which was higher in price, against this particular shelf of volume right here. In reality, the top of the market was this orange line right here, and you can see that that was the shelf that is in this cluster right here. And if we scroll over, kind of scrunch things up a little bit, scroll over, and scroll over. I got another arrow right there. You can see that that was the top of the market, so it was right there into the top of that shelf, and that's that saying that I keep on saying in all the videos. Boy, that didn't make sense, did it? That we basically test the bottom of nodes. Which is this one right here. This was the test of the bottom of the node, and then we basically tested the top of the node, which ended up being the top of the market right here. And we got a pull off that just finished the day right there. If I move this profile a little bit, I think you can kind of see, it's kind of hard to see the shelf of volume right there, but you can see that the bulk of the volume was right here on the first pull off, and then it was just trying to fight its way up, and then it gave up and went. I put a couple more levels in here. This was the low of the day right here, and I just moved that line. That wasn't smart. This was the low of the day, and you can see that it just lined up with the big volume in this particular section that I was going through. Just couldn't quite make it past that and gave a bounce and took off. Let's go back and look at some of the rest of the charts. On the weekly, we still have a pretty down week. Tomorrow is Friday, so the last day of the trading week. I was still expecting a bounce through this area, but it's failed off of this. We've got a bounce. If it stays weak, we're going to go hit another lower level, which it didn't do today. But you can see that we're into that first node. I would expect us to at least get to the 2757 on the next trip down. On the daily, a really no nothing day right here. One of the smaller candles that we've had in a long time, besides that doji right there. Not much I can probably say. We just basically were testing really kind of like the top and the bottom of the node right here that we've kind of built out, and we'll reevaluate that in the morning. Nothing here really on the 240 that shows you anything. You can see that orange line. Never quite made it up into the 2800 call that I thought, but real close, within a couple ticks. 60 minutes, You can see that they did buy off of the 2776 level twice, so they were going to hold this market up somehow, and they accomplished it. Not a whole lot of detail in it. So on the intraday, I put a bunch of levels in to kind of show you how we traded into a lot of levels. So when we were coming down, this pivot right here lined up nicely with the big volume that was across this level. And if we profile it a little bit more, you know, there was like a little level, a little bit higher, but that was kind of the tip of it right there. And this one lined up on the larger time frame that I had just shown you. Oh, it's right there. Sorry, picking the wrong level here. This level you can see on the larger profile. It's right here, lined up with that guy. And if we pull this back, you can see that one lined up with that one, and this big one right here lined up with that one right there. So you can see that the high level volume was lining up, and here's one right at the top of this one, and that's basically where you got the pull off right there. Another one, you got basically two pull offs right there. So I'm not sure if there's anything else on that chart. I kind of took the breakout trade. If you look at the start of the day here, we were creeping up on the delta, so that was, kind of an indication to me that they were buying the market. And so when the market opened, I basically jumped in and for the ride up. Didn't quite make it there, but that was my reasoning. Was basically they were showing active buying into the market, and you can see that it started to roll over here on these two tops, and it basically rolled over right here, and it was under the moving average for the rest of the day. As far as the levels go, I think the kind of the strength of the sell-off was kind of making it push a little bit beyond some of the levels. You had this reaction right here before the level, and I won't take a level again once it has a strong reaction off of it. So it's like this green bar right here. You basically got your point 27.93, 25.50. You got your point out of that green bar right there. When it comes back, I wouldn't take it again. You got a good trade off of that. When it came up here and bounced, you would have been 27.93, and it only made it to 27.92.25. It was strong. I didn't take the scalp off of that. Of course, I was going with the movement there. Not a lot of levels. This one came back. I don't think I would have took this one just because of we'd been there, but that one gave you another, and then it basically passed through at that point. Came back. You would have probably took too much heat here. 27.86, 25. You would have took 2 points of heat here. 27.88, 25. You would have took 2 points of heat if you would have tried to counter trend that, but it would have worked out eventually. Again, another visit to the line, sells off. Another visit to the line, sell off. So you can see that the level was working okay there. Gets up, goes across, gets back here. Hasn't been back here in a long time. So this is a good level, and you get a nice sell. You got to bounce right here. I don't know if you can see that, but you got a stem like right in front of the line, and that was at 27.8650 to 27.88. So you got more than a point right there in front of the line, and I wouldn't have took that at that point. not after the reaction there. Comes back, hits the line, sells again. Really too soon to really take the counter trend. It never kind of got off this line to short it and go the other direction. It just kind of sold right through this level, so it didn't do anything to help you out there. Comes back up, fails right in front of the line. This one was okay. This one came back, been away for a while. You definitely had some support where it had bounced off there. You probably could have took that one. This one, again, you really hadn't been there in a while, and that one probably would have worked okay for you. Didn't quite make it back to any of the lines after that, and traded right in front of them. So Delta was pretty much in line with the trading action, so didn't really give you any big hints. Was staying pretty neutral around zero. This is the zero line somewhere in here, and so it was a pretty neutral day as far as that goes. Nothing on the bigger time frame, so let's look at the symmetry right here. I thought the symmetry was great. This was the open of the market. Basically traded up, didn't quite make the line here. Sold off. First touch of this level right here, great bounce. Didn't quite make it there. Comes back, you get another bounce off of there. Kind of trades through. You think it's going to the other side, but it comes back. You get a pull off on the first. On the first touch right here, which was pretty decent, traded through. And a hint for support and resistance. Support and resistance to me is trading on both sides of the line. So I'm trying to find like a good example here. So maybe this and this you would call support. These two items right here, I wouldn't call that support. That's not support in my book. So it's support and resistance. There's, they kind of go hand in hand together, just so that you can understand that. So this was support right here. It traded down through it, and when it came back up to this level, this opposing pivot matched this opposing pivot. This is support and resistance to me. You need that two-sided trading, and you get that at the tops of every pivot. There's like a support and resistance line at the top of every pivot. I don't know how better to kind of explain that, but you're kind of trading under it, and then you're trading over it. It's the same as these lines right here. See how this line, it kind of respects it on this lower side, and it's respecting it on the top side, and there's a line that kind of cuts through both sides, and you kind of get it down here where it's bouncing off this line, and then it trades through, right? And you had it right over here where it was trading on the other side of the line. It was kind of respecting it. Again, you trade through, it's kind of respecting it on the other side. That's support and resistance to me. And you have it at the top of every pivot that you have in here. If you look closely enough, this little pivot right here, right? It's when you get over this point, it was trading on the other side. That was support and resistance when it got down there. I need to make probably a video and explain it a little bit better, but really respecting the 100% range extensions, on the touches, pulling off, and I like this one at the end of the day right here. It just comes so close to the level and sells off again. But that was the symmetry. That was the market for the day. Hopefully you got something out of the volume profiles, seeing the volume profiles. Again, we're testing clusters when you are trading against things. There's a cluster right here, and that's why you're getting bounces off of it. It trades back down, test the bottom. We tested the top up here. We test the bottom down here. Tested a little bit farther, actually, right there. Again, here's the volume node and cluster, right? And you might want to include that little pivot, and you kind of tested it right there, and then you fell down and tested it right there. It was a real mediocre day, and didn't quite hit any of the good levels, but there's always tomorrow. And if you have any questions, let me know, and I'd be happy to answer them. If you enjoy the videos, please subscribe and help my channel out. Greatly appreciate it. And I will talk to you in the morning. Take care.